Welcome to Driven by Me, and this is the mood board courses. So, what is a mood board? It's a collage that helps put in concrete form the messy abstraction that idea are. What it is not, it's not a way to generate random design idea. It's deliberate. It's filtered. It's a work, an iterative work that is not there to just throw a bunch of things together. So the main goal is to put an abstract idea into a concrete one, which means that we have thoughts about things and they are often mixed with emotions, and we don't take the time to look at every aspect, every little particle like water. So we need a container. We need to put our idea onto paper. So it's not random, it's deliberate filtering. So you go through a process of trials and error. You need to test the design you came up with, and you need to test it with other people because you're not the only final judge in anything artistic. So it's not like doing random words, mixing random words into a theme generator or something as such. As you will see, there is some kind of process behind that keeps it from being too much like nothing. So why doing a mood board? First of all, from my experience, as I said before, when a junior or someone come to me and to show his progress, I often notice that something is lacking, and it's really often this, which is the mood board. And how I know that, I don't even ask them right away, or I try to ask other question to know if they have made their mood board, but usually I know they didn't. And the way I know they didn't do it properly or do it at all is that the piece of art has no personality. It often looks like a mix of anything. Like there are no reason for any elements in the piece. There are no backstory. There are no research of design, no competitive research of design. There are no. It's like when you start for the first time, you have a very low visual library, a very weak visual library, and like a castle, as Feng Zhu says, the beginners will draw the castle like a child, with the usual towers and walls with little indentations, and but the experienced one, the one who will have made many castles, might not need to do a mood board at the point where he knows castle like his pocket. Anything about castle, he knows it. He will like create a castle that is not usual, that is not generic, and there will be like rooms that he knows about, like carters for soldiers, and observation towers, and many things that I might not even know myself, that beginners will not know, and that is experience to personality. So how do you get experience, though? There is a typo I just see. Sorry for that. How do you get experience? I will tell you how later on. Secondly, why we cannot hold all thoughts, which means that when we have a design concept in our heads, some people will say, "Oh, I don't need to do the mood board. I don't need at all. I know exactly what I want." But the issue with that is that we don't know everything. We didn't do a process of filtering. We didn't do a process of testing it with other people, and this is where it leads you or anyone to do a piece that looks amateurish, generic, that won't impress the people you want to impress. Because not only that, there are informations that will help, real life information that will help give personality to your piece. So thoughts are inorganized by nature. Mood boarding is one of the methods used to organize design concept. So that it becomes shareable between you and your team members. So this is the next point. It's the ability to share a design idea, which is not only with your employer, clients, or lead or teammates, it's also with the consumer, especially the consumer of the product you are working on. And even though some people might hate popular things that are generic, so popular that it is generic, eventually many things that are edgy and different end up selling and end up being popular. It was the fight of the music trends from the 60s to the 2019s. The fight which gave birth to punk rock and grunge, which were trying to not be commercial, but everything ended up being commercial at the end. So with whom should you share your mood board? Of course, your client, your employer, your leads, your teammates. This is obvious. You could use it in your portfolio, but sometimes people would say not to put them in there. As myself, is if I were to hire an artist, a designer, I would say I don't really care as soon as your art piece shows your skills. So even though you would put like a mood board, if the mood board shows like professionalism, and I skills, then I don't care that it's a mood board, anything. So when do you exchange, and when do you talk about your mood board during your task? Well, it might be defined with your client, your team, your employers. If it is not, don't be shy to ask. It's very important to not be shy, not fear to to look like stupid. It's more important that you don't miss it and feel stupid, even more stupid by missing it. So usually you will have like a first encounter, first meeting, and there in the first meeting you do like a quick question. You bring your notebook, and always bring your notebook in meetings, and then eventually you might start the mood board, and you might notice that you miss some information, or you don't, and you might ask for a next meeting, or don't be shy. I never had like trouble with asking back some question that I missed. So it will always be like a back and forth with the leads, teams, which is great when you are on open floors. And yeah, I experienced it and it was fine. So when you stop doing back and forth, I would say it's when there's nothing left to remove or to add. And this I would give like many tips, but you need to find a balance. You shouldn't add them all. So, and sorry for the layout of my text. PowerPoint is not very easy with the setting of the layout, like the dots are not but I didn't have time. So where to do a mood board? You can propose or ask your lead employer teams, but there are like limited platforms like Canva, Melatoon, and Figma. I say limited because they give a free version, and this I see as not very well regarded, because you never know when they will ask for more, and it's always like there is always some kind of dependencies they build in those platforms, where eventually you don't have they limit like the number of mood board or anything else, or people you can share with, just so that you buy the premium, the membership or anything else, which in my experience in the past, any software, I don't remember, it's like new to like 5 years or something. People started doing platforms like that, and it became like the business model, and the old one are still there, and they didn't use this, they mostly didn't use, and those who use this kind of approach, I feel like they are gone. But I might be wrong. I cannot predict the future. I feel like Canva, I heard it a lot. Melatoon, both of them, I heard them a lot. I never know I cannot know, but usually the free open sources software uh, are like 10 years old and still running, and that's my go-to. You can use editor, but you wouldn't be able to share screen, live share screen, or maybe there may be a way, but not to my knowing. I know that Canva, Figma, you might be able to share live uh, with cursors with your team, but that's still not my go-to. I will go with Google for the assignments for this course. There is Draw.io. You can add it, install it in Google, or you can use it independently if you are not trusting Google. There is a Drawboard in Google where people use for mood board. It's not Draw.io. It's like drawing board something. I might use it. I will see with the test. So the thing with Draw.io, it's a free one. There is no like pay wall eventually, our subscription wall with limitations. So, which domain of expertise use mood boards? Just so you know, in video games we might use mood boards for the level art, most of it for the level art rather than the level design. Level design might be like technical drawings of the floors and things like that. In the same vein, environment art, which is the might be the same thing as level art. Um, uh, you will have a concept artist doing the mood board for the game. The props too. You might have even a mix of concept artist, 3D modeler, but usually in big, like in small studio, it might be one person doing both of them. But in AAA, it would be like concept artist doing props specifically, concept arting doing environment specifically, and 3D modeler for each of them specifically. You might have also mood boards for UI, materials, which are procedural textures, and as of course characters. So, which in which domain of expertise? This is just the other domain that are not um, video games. You have in movies and advertisement, music clip, or video clip. I don't remember how you say in English. I might have put the wrong name there. In edition, I don't know if you say that, but anything that is printed on on a book, we call it the edition, like a magazine and things like that. So I forgot to put the full words there, but it's book cover, magazine, comics book, banner. You will have a mood board in those specific kind of work. It will be more like infographist, and we say infographist in French, but in English I think you say computer graphic. Um, and also the construction, the creation of brands and products, logo, clothes, shoes, and website. So other domain of expertise, the wedding designer, oh damn, the X typo there, architecture. I went fast to finish this. It took me so long, but now I got the, I got the, I'm starting to have it fast, so the next course will be very fast. Okay, so graphic designer. So now for the mood board sections that will be asked in the assignment. Some of them will be asked, many of them, of course. So the first one is the playlist, the audio playlist, and it's one of the suggestion of this guy, YouTuber Garrett Samant. He's talking about mood boards in movies, but I like his idea of starting with the playlist that fits in the mood of the theme of the art piece for the mood board. So you surround yourself in the universe that you are creating, and it helps. And I did this many times, and it's true. So I wanted to add this for you. And this playlist, it might be YouTube. If I in my assignment, I would give you maybe probably like I will ask YouTube links and things like that, but it would be like bonus points. So it puts you in the mood. It makes a little S at puts, I guess. And you can share it with your team if you feel like there is a good communication and good vibe with them, and if they work, especially if they work on the same piece and same theme as you. And the design pillars, so I would say like 3 to 5 pillars, design pillars. I talked about them. It's like 3 to 5 keywords that are the main leading voices of your team, like dark, fantasy, and like let's say the guy who did the story likes mushrooms, and maybe there will be like a keyword like mushrooms. And those are the pillars, so you don't lose track of what needs to be in the mood board. And these pillars are used in many sources and many shape and form in design and video games, game mechanics, as I said in other episodes in the live stream. So it frames and guides the team along the way. You can find the pillars in your client description, your employer lead description of the task. It might not be like obvious. You might create them from synonyms from what the client said, but it's a good start to find them. It's there. So it will be important in some assignments that I will create. Some of them needs the pillars. So the description, the main description, is a simple paragraph. Keep it simple. Compose it using the synonyms from the design pillars we just talked about previously. So the description, the backstory, this is another paragraph which where you explain the marks on the art piece, the disposition from the past, how it ended up that way. If it's a scene, there might be like traces of fight or rebellions, traces of rebellions, traces of anything, and you need to write it. You need to put your idea on paper, and that way you can see everything that doesn't fit and everything that can fit, and people can give some suggestion to what they read on your mood board. So, as I said, political background of the scene or the object, traces of war, traces of affection, like where, like people rubbing some place on the object or statue. Iconoclasm, which is like people destroying pictures because they don't like it for many reasons. Traces of religion, rust, corrosion, wear, and tear. And don't put them all at once on the piece, it would be like a mess. Just pick what needs to fit there. So another paragraph might be the building process of the object, of the decoration on the objects or the scene, of the build-up of the character, of its personality, his scars and his missing limbs or anything, the story behind it, the story behind the location, how it was built, who were there, things like that, that can help add details, important details that people will find very exciting and not generic. And as I said, this is the experience, the personality from experience. So explain each element. At every element you add, make sure you can make it like very visual, like circling them, putting them into sketching them separately. Like let's say you have a belt and it's an important belt, it has important symbols on it. You can draw it a part of the character and a close up, and maybe there is something special on how it's attached to the character, and you need to detail the functionality of the belt. This is important. So what kind of elements that you would need to list in there? It's the elements you will put in the technical references. We will see later, I guess. Yes. The quality standards, you would need to explain, okay, I want to reach this quality. Why? Because this is the style we aim at, and it has the special After Effect or post process we are looking for. The picture for inspirations, like this game, we wanted to copy this hand and glove from the character, and this is the glove. You put the glove of the character of the other game which inspired your design. The style is especially if you work on a stylized character or piece, there are many aspects, like the shape. Some games like WoW, World of Warcraft will have specific shapes for every object, and they are listed by the designer. They are like the lamp will have a specific shape that fits with the shapes of the crates and so on. The colors, the color palette, You need to tell why you have this contrast of color. Maybe there is like a psychology behind it, like red and black. It's red, black, and white. It's reminiscing of the Nazis and the Empire in Star Wars, things like that. It can be like reminiscing of authority, things like that. There are many psychological background with colors and the fonts. If you work in UI, you might pick a font, buy a font with the licenses that needs to be addressed by the in the game document, because licenses sometimes need special care. So technical reference. What are the technical references? It's the anatomy, the shape of the object. It can be like art surface. We call art surface what is anything art, as you can see, like the bottom image. And soft surface or organic would be the skin of the guy. But the guy is a mix. You can see that his armor might be considered also a mix, because you will have harder surface than that. It's like a hard surface with organic shapes. But when you go like in sci-fi, it becomes real hard surface with flat armor shapes. So that becomes like the character artists are touching a lot of different things in 3D modeling. But if you go with assets like static assets or the a bit of dynamic asset like guns, it's art surface all the way, and those two don't require the same kind of technical references or technical drawings at the end of the day, as we will see later on. So technical drawings, this is technical drawings. The one with the tractor has some part of technical drawings, you can see on the sides. When it's orthographic from top left, orthographic means without perspective. But the middle one, the walking excavator in perspective, is not really, it's part of the technical drawing because you can see it around. But in your mood board you will have all of them. You can put all of them. It gives fast. If you do it fast, you can go back and forth with your lead and say, okay, is this of course you will have done like silhouette works with them, doing back and forth with the silhouette before going into this much of details. But still they might want to see the sketches eventually. It depends on them. The knife above, it's a technical drawing. You don't have to be very detailed. If you look at real technical drawings like guns, like Glocks and AK-47, it's way more complicated than that. The real technical drawings, you have like all the names of the little parts, and in 3D you don't. In video game you don't modelize all the little parts because it's you want to make it optimal and mostly in one piece as much as you can. And the left one at the bottom, the center of the screen, is the floor, like architecture blueprints of a house. You might do this if you do level design, not so much art. But art, it can be like in startup and small studio. As I said, one person can do like the job of three. And of course, vehicles. I forgot. I'm just going back. vehicles. Yeah, it's the truck there. So the UI will have similar things like it's called UI spec, UI specification, user interface specification. They might have unique files made by an artist with this kind of specification too. It's a technical drawing. And the close shots, this is another part you need when you do props and character art. As you see, this would be like a character belt and his pocket, of course more than that, but it's the kind of thing you would find in a character mood board. So the close shot can be the actor face, a mix of actors that you want your character to look like. Gadgets you want your character to have, or the scene to have, or the prop, belts, button, fastener, cords, chains, or a mix of model. When you want to create like a this is a Glock, the gun you see there, but different models. And then you can mix, you can pick many models and mix some parts to make it unique to your game. So I forgot to mention that the technical references only should only be like photographs, because if you reuse art from other people, you might introduce error that they did. So it's simple as that. And for the other references, the quality references, you can use other art pieces, because what you aim to do with them is to reach similar quality as the other artist. So it's the you put there in this section your inspiration, competitions. You look for you search for keywords that you use in for your pillars and synonyms of your design pillars, and search for the concept art and anything like that, 3D modeling, just to see to know what other people did with the similar piece, so that you don't make it generic. You can now, by doing this, notice the what are the cliche about the art piece you are doing. So you might see recurring themes with the same object, same kind of character, and you should avoid and also the quality standards, which would be like a art piece with high quality that you want to emulate. If you are doing a stylized game, you might develop your references for your style, and they are, as a YouTuber put it, there are 9 elements, 9 basic elements. I will try to find the which one is. You might find other people talking about a number of elements, but the one I'm talking about is this guy, the 9 elements of video game art style by Light Hoof Dryden. So he gives like the 9 elements, which is the line art, the texture, and others that you might try to fill in your references. and you might like take references for like inspiration. As I give some kind of example, you might pick is like the eyes in Rick and Morty. They are like star shaped, but it will be like a ripoff. It's too much of a trademark for their style to pick that up. But let's say you like the line art of some kind of obscure comic that you want to borrow from, and the texture of another one, and you want to mix them, you can put your reference there in this section. So if it's realistic, if your game is realistic, it's another thing. It might more be like a sci-fi, fantastic, historical, or custom. That's the other side of between stylized and realistic. So the color palette. So you would take a photograph with the color palette that you want, or illustration. Those are both accepted in this section. The good thing about photograph and illustration is that the work of finding color that mix well together is already done. It's a work that is hard to come by. It takes some time, so if you can find like a mix of pictures and pick your color from them and change it a bit so you don't copy too much, and that's a good start to then do your color swatches, and can be reused by the other artists. Maybe it might come from a main first mood board from another artist. You can copy and paste it there. So next would be a section for the silhouette and mockups and sketches. I think I need to do a course there for that, and eventually I will put it in the description below. If you listen to this later on and you notice that the course is there and I forgot to put it in the description, just give me a shout in the comment section. So in the mockup section, you will have like perspective sketches. After having done your silhouette sketches, that will be in the course, of course. Also, this mood board section would be like your initiation to sketches, because sketches is some kind of higher skill, even higher than mood board skills. So sketches, you need to have a lifetime of sketches, but I might try to give you the best tips to get you there faster. So there you will take your silhouettes and do a perspective sketch, just to have a feeling of another senses in your body. Some people do a tactile mood board where they will 3D print as fast as possible, so to have it in front of them to feel it with other senses. It can be a way, if you have time and if you have a 3D printer, really fast, not resin and printing, like faster than resin, because it's dirty. So the sketches, perspective sketches, it's good to have the back forth with your client at this point. You do this to show them, of course, because they don't see the process. They might not have Sometimes they have a precise vision, and you need to stick to the words, as I seen with George Lucas and Star Wars with his the concept artist, and he asked some kind of precise thing, and the artist kicked around the bushes, trying not to do word for word. But once they did word for word what George Lucas asked, then it was the right thing. um, so sometimes the non-designer has a more precise idea of yourself, and you need to do the back and forth. Um, for the technical drawing, also it's important to eventually it will come up. I think it's the next one, the turnaround. Let's see. So the turnaround, what I said, it's this one. It's good to have at least like top front left. It depends if it's asymmetrical. It depends if it hides something behind. So you want all sides, and this is for the props and the level art. Anything static, anything mechanical, and hard surface objects, weapon. So it's called a prop sheet or a prop or a turnaround, and you put it in your mood board near the end. The more you are getting a final result, the put it in your mood board. That way you can compare, like put all the different assets, the mood board of all the different assets and character of the game, and you put them close by. You put the end result of each of them like really close by, so that way you can start to see what fits in the world you are creating and what does not. So next, then the vehicle design, vehicle turnaround or turnaround sheet, vehicle blueprint. Just like the props, but it's vehicle. There in AAA's, they are often like artists, vehicle artists, just doing vehicles, because it's an art on itself. It's dynamic. It's large. It has some mechanics, specific mechanics. So, but in small studio, it might be like a prop artist who does this. And the character design, character turnaround sheet. Yeah, you put the items. You can put your close-up sketches, so the 3D modeler knows, or yourself as the both artist, a concept artist and 3D modeler. If you don't end up doing your piece, it might be switched to someone else. So you have done well to sketch the details, the important details that are needed. And the other things like material design, procedural texturing, pixel art, style design, 2D, and all of them have mood boards of all sorts, and of course there will be course eventually on that too, not only 3D. So that would be it for the course. Thank you for watching. If you want to support me, there might be still be my Patreon there. Eventually my course, the assignments will be done in the next week, and you will be able to start them. It will cost something that I will find with you a cost that will be acceptable. If you are interested in a live course with the group, I would need to take your name into a list but I'm interested to do this. It would be a first, but I feel like I'm ready for this, and I'm ready to, of course, make it better. It would be like an alpha version or beta version, but I will make this like really professional with all the good details I can find online, and that I know that are good. So thank you for watching. See you.